want to start my talk today with a story. When I was 8 years old, my local council came into my school. They asked my year 3 class at the time what change we want to see happen in the local area. 8-year-old me defiantly claimed, "I don't like the rubbish outside the swimming pool in town." A month later, to my complete surprise and excitement, the rubbish was cleared by adding more bins and foliage to the area. Whether this action was due to my comment, I'll never know. But what I do know is that was the first moment I felt the excitement of engagement. Someone had actually listened to me and responded to a concern that I had raised. My voice had been given equal weighting to the adults in the room for the very first time. This catalysed into 13-year-old me running a campaign on mental health, 14-year-old me writing and sending a report to government on SEND provisions, and 17-year-old me standing here in front of you today telling you why it's so important that more young people feel empowered to use their voice like I have been to do so. And it was all because someone planted some bushes outside a swimming pool. That's powerful. That's the power of youth engagement and listening to the voice of your young people. So why are we deterring young people from making change? Being actively engaged, I witnessed a barrage of landslide issues hit the news in only the last 10 years, whether it be the cost of living crisis, the climate crisis, or even the long-standing effects of COVID-19. The question in all these news stories has been, what are we going to do about this? But the collective of we, when I looked at these news stories in school, on social media, even on the TV, was always adults. Never did I see young people, especially those under 16, being asked, well, what do you think? How are you affected by this? But why weren't they asked? Because by 2050, when the climate change causes the Arctic to have ice-free summers, causing mass flooding around the world, I'm going to have to experience that. When the cost of living crisis plunges 71 million more people globally into poverty, I'm going to have to experience that. I'm going to have to experience and work towards the positive change of my future, both now and in my adulthood. So why can't I have a voice in the decisions affecting it? The future is owned by us all, not just the adults in the room, because young people will soon become adults too. It's our collective world. According to the Be Seen, Be Heard campaign by the UN, 70% of young people feel they do not have enough space to express themselves in public debates nor voice their opinions. But they want to, with 67% of young people believing in a better future. And under the Youth Review of 2022, it was highlighted how young people want to be part of decision making and help build back better. However, how can young people be part of decision making and use their voice if they are not given the space and resources to do so? This can be solved by having an active culture of participation in which young people are given the voice to voice their opinions at every single table in all organisations, as highlighted by the charity UK Youth. Many examples of including young people spring to mind. Going through recruitment, consult a group of young trustees in the process and have a young person on your interview panel. Want to plan an event? Have young people organising a section of the event and given the opportunity to speak. Want to build improvements into your organisation? Have young people bring in proposals and their proposals be actioned upon. This culture of incorporation can be highlighted through Roger Hart's ladder of participation, in which he highlighted the top rungs of activities for young people were child-initiated, child-led, with shared decisions from adults within an equitable environment. He wanted to move the incorporation of young people from being tokenistic to being a point of citizenship. Although, many watching this talk may think, well, they're just children. Or, as I've heard time and again, they're immature. Politely, please stop saying these things. When you say these things, you're ignoring the voices and opinions of 13,202,904 under-19s as of 2022 in England alone. And I'll say it again. 13,202,904 under-19s. These are volunteers, their friends, their children, their grandchildren. They might even be the person that serves you your morning coffee, but they're still all change makers. In fact, the majority of statistics I've used in my talk today have actually been from professional reports written by young people. Did you even notice? Change does not suddenly become effective on your 18th birthday. Change becomes effective when you call for it at any age. Then, change becomes action when people listen. The voices and activism of young people must be celebrated within society. Many brilliant examples spring to mind, Malala Yousafzai, Greta Thunberg, but we need to be celebrating those unsung heroes. Amika George started the #FreePeriods campaign, in which she successfully lobbied the government to have free period product access in all schools across the UK. She was 17. Joshua Williams started the Joshua Hart Foundation in the US, in which he provided food for the homeless and tackled poverty in his local area. He was 4.5 years old when he started that organisation with his parents. Jintali Rao won Times Kid of the Year award after innovating technology to remove lead from water. She was 15 when she won Times Kid of the Year. All these exceptional and brilliant young people have been able to make change as they have been listened to. So I ask, what would happen if those 13,202,904 under-19s I referenced were listened to too? How much change would we see? How many people, maybe even you know, would be making news on local, national and global levels? Wouldn't our world be reframed to include young people at its core? A positive power shift. So, what's my vision? My vision for the future is to have an active culture of participation. If I wanted to make change in an issue, there'd be a clear, signposted route to making that change. I wouldn't be held back due to being deemed too immature or too young or only in school. But instead, my voice would be celebrated and utilised within the conversation. Organisations would actively enrol young people within their seats and offer people the opportunity to speak. Most importantly, young people would be taken seriously. And I think it's all possible. In fact, I know it is. By listening to, empowering, acting upon, and implementing the voices and opinions of young people. To conclude, I want to talk directly to everyone in the room, both adults and young people. Firstly, to adults. Include us, please. Ask our opinions on topical events. Educate us about inequalities. But most importantly, listen to us and make change because of it. Ask that 5-year-old, ask the 10-year-old, ask the 13-year-old. Ask the 8-year-old in the Year 3 class. They might just make a TEDx talk about it one day. And finally, to young people, as you are the centre of this issue. Being actively engaged does not mean to change the world by single action. It means to change the world by engaging a series of small actions and choices to make your voice heard. You could participate in your school council, share an informative post on social media, or even participate in a public consultation. You can do all of this as your voice matters. You can be the voice of change. Your contribution and participation in our world is a key to having a more equal, sustainable and hopeful future for us all. Young people are our future. Thank you.